I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
Very
Good,
good. Thank you
good.
for being here.
Well, thank you for
So,
having me. I really appreciate it.
Jessica Spaulding, this is an
Mhm.
interesting and it's an important story to tell. So, shout out to Adrian Walton, our mutual friend, A Butter.
Legend.
Put us
Mhm.
together last year, and then had to reintroduce the situation recently. But long story short, Jessica is an entrepreneur who owns the Harlem Chocolate Factory,
Mhm.
staple in Harlem, and have come up across some unfortunate situations, but I'm gonna let you tell a story because you could tell it obviously better than I can. But it's an important conversation that I think we need to have as far as entrepreneurship, small businesses in our community, access to capital, brick and mortar, different things of
Hmm.
that nature. So can you tell it? Can you tell a story to kind of open it up?
Yeah, I mean the quick overview is we started the business in 2015 after I joined a business plan competition. And I was unemployed and I found out about the competition while I was at the library with my kids. And I wound up winning the competition to start my business for $15,000. And, but I started to learn right after that how media coverage can also tank you because immediately that winter we went into 250 media kits given out by Sam Adams, and we were flooded with orders. And I was working out of a little 6 foot table in a commercial kitchen, and so it was just like really a really rapid growth. We went from a 2 foot table in the back of a brownstone selling our products to now being in like major tourist attractions and selling out every week. Um, and then from there, we went to the fancy food show and got selected as like the best bites at the show. And so I'm like, okay, we need to find a larger production space. At the time, Amazon reached out and wanted this huge 6 figure order. And so I'm like, let me find a production space. Let me find a production space. And I couldn't find one. And I couldn't find the capital to find a space that was big enough for us to really produce in. So we
Hmm.
found the store. And the thing that I didn't realize I was doing was I was changing my business model. I had been doing
Mm.
wholesale and doing corporate gifting, and that's manageable, with a small team. The introduction of retail and brick and mortar completely shifted the model. And it feels like, okay, I'm making so much more money, or the sales are different because they're in the face. But now I have this very, very important part, especially for a Black owned business, which is customer service. I'm
Hmm.
spending 45 minutes explaining to people why my chocolate costs more than what's at the corner store, and customer education and customer
Hmm.
acquisition and then distribution for each and every individual order, where before I'm boxing 100 bars at a time and shipping it out in one box. Now Tamika want 6 chocolates, and I gotta spend a half an hour making sure every 6 chocolate is correct and goes to her, office. And it really, really, really became a struggle to manage in such a small space. Our kitchen is 200 square feet, and we were pumping out thousands of bars, and we've sustained and carried on this time, but at my sacrifice. And
Hmm.
so um people are like, okay, but let me get you more orders. Let me get you more orders. And I'm like, you're actually low key drowning me.
Yeah, you're crippling you. Yeah.
You actually, and trying to explain the economics of why more ordering actually has put us in a worser financial position, has been really, really difficult to communicate to people who are like, we support you, we love you. And people mad at us because you're not open. And I'm like, I have to be closed because I have to satisfy contracts that actually make us money. Um, because I'm basically breaking even in this retail space. So it's led us to really, really, really pay attention to how we need to shift the model and do the thing that I was afraid to do in the first place, which is go after what we truly needed, which was a larger production space and satisfying larger clients and larger contracts.
When you say larger clients, larger contracts, that's inside of the new model, I'm assuming. What else is entailing inside the new model? Because this is interesting, right? People would think if I bring in more revenue, that would help the business. But I'm like, you're saying like, hold on, we have to catch up to our obligations to
Mhm.
actually make sure this makes sense. So what have you done internally to design the new model?
So what we did is I identified key partnerships that would allow us to scale out. So we have to reach a specific price point and a specific volume to have the profitability to grow the rest of the business, right? Like it's a different model because now our terms are net 60, net 30. I mean, I'd be trying to get due on receipt for certain partnerships, but identifying people that had enough growth for us to start at this smaller level, but then also scale with them. So I cannot mention, I asked for permission to mention it today, but I cannot mention it today, but it rhymes with All Star. You'll be seeing a new partnership this week that we're launching that again just allows us to open up doors to larger volumes because especially for chocolate, this is not like any other CPG business. The CPG business, the next break point might be 2,500, and then I can go to a co-packer. I'm competing at the co-packers. I'm competing with grocery stores. I'm
Mhm.
competing with big brands. So my little, oh, I got a 2,500 bar order. They're like, baby, that's going to cost us $8 a bar to make for you. And
Mhm.
so we're not really seeing a break point until we're in the high, we're in a six figure kind of like unit number. So by having these partnerships, it allows us to like really negotiate with co-packers or even if we're taking on production ourselves to increase our volume because now I have something to kind of like bet against with it when it comes to funding. I just thought that I have all these eyes on my business, I can get funding, and it's not.
Mhm.
When I talk to venture, when I talk to investors, they're like, "You not going to grocery?" And I'm like, "No, that's where our business would go to die because that's what everybody else did, and that's why their businesses are closing."
Mhm.
And but it's a non-traditional model, and so they're like, well, prove that it works first and come back. So the partnerships are just at a larger scale for us to say like, hey, over the course of this year we're going to do 100,000 bars with this one company, or we're going to do 50,000 bars with this one company, and that gives us a little bit more leverage when it comes to proving that this has scalability versus I'm going to try to convince 50 more people to come in here per day.
Knowing everything that you know now for the entrepreneurs watching tonight, how would you identify what's the perfect business model for your business? Because we always are taught more is better, right?
Yeah.
Scaling. I even seen a comment. Someone's like, why not start a venture fund? More is not always better, right? So how, if you can go back, I know you said your business model is different, but oftentimes the different business model is the one that's going to lead the way. How would you identify what your perfect business model is?
I think that if I was able to restart, I would start with the equations that I've created now, right? Like, what's the volume of products that I need to make in order to sustain at a specific margin for
Mhm.
not only operation, but for my own life. Like there's all the statistics. Black women, we're the fastest group of entrepreneurs, we're the, most educated, most everything. But the reality is we make the least amount of revenue out of every group.
Mhm.
We are overeducated in degrees that don't actually make money. Like we have the lowest, our degrees are the lowest income generating degrees. So there's
Mhm.
the other side. We're in a lot of the marketing around it. And I know for myself, my face was used as a part of many, many, many campaigns to show love and support for Black women. But I think that when I get back to the forefront of it, that I would really make sure that my business had me in it, and whatever model I was choosing, made sure that there was some version of salary for me. Maybe not a big ticket item, maybe not whatever, so that I can make these decisions more clearly. A lot of
Yeah.
this business model shifting is out of a place of, no, for no better words, but desperation. Like, right,
Mhm.
like, I need cash in here now. This contract, they love us and everything, but they're not going to pay me for 60 days, and that's after I
Yeah.
get all of my paperwork uploaded for them to even process the ACH. And then what
Mm,
happens
mm,
when
mm.
Sheila go have a baby and then my invoice don't get processed?
Yeah.
Like, there are real life things that can, derail you. So when you're choosing a business model and when you're choosing a price point, I think that we have this idea that we want to be these like mega billionaires, but you might be more profitable at a $250,000 a year, like, price point. You might be able to take more margin out of that than if you was trying to, I
Scale
feel like,
globally. Yeah.
scale globally. Like, I,
Mhm.
from myself, I realize we've been really boxing above our weight class, uh trying to do this direct to consumer model and reach all these individuals. That takes money. Like,
Yeah.
and it takes dedicated staff, human capital. There was a real benefit to not having to pay for staffing for some other businesses. They had 500 years of free labor. I don't have that. My cousin want to
Mhm.
come work for me. My cousin bills ain't gonna go nowhere. I have to pay her for the day. She can't volunteer. She might could volunteer at night after work, but I need somebody during the day. I need somebody to answer the phone. And AI is doing a lot to help and assist, but there are real physical human capital needs that I would consider and incorporate into whatever model I was choosing. And I think we confuse models with sales channels, and thinking that, like, oh, we're just adding another sales line, and you're really shifting your entire model. If it requires you to operate differently, then it's a
Mhm.
different model and it's not an additional sales channel.
Yeah, I wanted to bring you on. I want just to put it in perspective for people. So yeah, you become a staple in the community as far as Harlem Chocolate Factory. But I thought it was is important. It's like a real life case study because we bring a lot of entrepreneurs on, and a lot of times it's the stories are extremely success story. You're a success story also, but
Mhm.
you're facing hard times right now, right?
Yeah.
Like so, I think that this is real education that people can actually learn from because there's
Mhm.
ups and downs in entrepreneurship. It's not always somebody making $1 million a month and somebody that's killing it and stuff like that. Like we've highlighted that story a lot, but I think it's also important to highlight people that may have currently be going through rough patches right now. So talk specifically about where the business is right now. I know that you're in a business, you're currently closing the physical location, right? And then also talk about how like the access to capital conversation and how you were actually on New York City's website.
Yes.
Talk us explain that part of it.
Right. Like, I do a lot of like behind the scenes work because I mean, I literally needed money for myself because there's also a reality, right? Like, I don't want to even participate in my own gaslighting where I pretend like there wasn't a sacrifice that went into scaling this, right? Like, the original SWOT analysis said that this was capital intensive and it was going to be hard, and the market is saturated and all these things, and the only way in was through this niche. But the what I did is I built like a platform for myself because I find myself to be honest about what it really takes to build a business. I'm not going to front for you.
Mhm.
I'm not going to pretend like, like, oh, whatever. I've been on Oprah's favorite things. I did, and they called me twice and all of that, and I could do all of that and I could swing. But what does that do for anyone? If the
Yeah.
reality is, when I go for funding, I get turned down. When I've tried to raise money for contracts, they shift the goalposts. And so I think I just got to a place of frustration because my face was on the New York City's Fund Finder. I launched this GoFundMe campaign after I got rejected for accounts receivable funding. I don't want to close our store. The goal is to
Oh, hold
keep
on.
it in operation.
Let's slow it down a little bit. Let's take
Yeah.
your face was on New York City's Go. Explain that.
It's
Explain
called
that.
the Funds Finder, right? Like
So that's a website from New York
it's
City where
a
you
yeah.
go to get money for your business.
Yes, where you find funds. It's literally the Funds Finder.
And
So when
you were essentially the poster child for that. Your face was
Yep.
on there,
yes,
but you
yes.
couldn't get funding.
Zero funding options available is what it said to me. And that becomes the thing, right? Like people are like, oh, well, you have all these connections, like you good, like you could get funding whenever. And I'm like, yeah, you know where the funding comes from? Me. I keep
Yeah.
my salary in that business every year. Like we are still here at my sacrifice. And so people were like responding to our GoFundMe by saying, like, well, you on Funds Finder. Or there's like, hey, I found the link to the New York City Funds Finder. Go on there. Like, oh, wait, your face is on there. So I kept getting it and kept getting it. So I literally made the video to show like there were no funds. Like
Mhm.
it was zero from 250K plus to less than 10,000. There was no funds.
So how did they respond to? Have they responded to this? Like, what's the
Mhm,
update? Obviously, you brought this to their attention. Obviously, you're getting hit up, and it's like, yo, this press is actually working negative for me because people
mhm.
think I got it. They're not likely to help if they think I got it. It's just unfortunately, how have they responded since you brought it to their attention? Obviously, they put you there. They know it.
They called me to tell me that they took the picture down
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that I should find some grants to apply for.
Which grants are not the easiest thing just to, for those who don't know, they just don't fall out the sky.
Why did they
It
put your picture
really,
up? Why did they put the picture up there to begin with?
I think that Black women are the marketing. I think that it's very, very easy. I think that's the way in to prove that you like show support for the community. And I think
Mhm.
Black women sometimes are very, very, and I can't, let me not talk for all Black women. I think that there are times that I've approached entrepreneurship happy to be invited, and
Mhm.
it's encouraged an air that I'm easy to take advantage of. And so I snapped and I went online and I told the whole world that there was no funds. Because
The truth,
normally
yeah.
I'm quiet and I don't
Mhm.
say nothing because maybe it could help someone else. And Black women are very, very amenable. And, you know, that we get this rap about our attitudes, but I've seen women cry after haircuts and when their nails is messed up. So we don't say anything. And I said something this time. So they took the picture down, still no funds. They connected me to another funder who had already rejected funding me, but I guess people are moving now, but it's like a 8 to 12 week process. And I'm like, I needed money years ago. And
Mhm.
so it's just literally like I would never want to turn to my community that I already know is facing things to like beg for money. But this where we're at in this, and especially on the precipice of these partnerships, I'm like, nah. I've taken all the L's that I'm gonna take, and I can only come to people and be transparent about where we are and what we have going on and ask for some assistance because my goal ultimately is to help my community. Like
Mhm.
this ain't Jessica Spaulding's chocolate factory. This is Harlem's. And so I feel like I'm just a steward of the opportunity. And so it's worth the fight and the embarrassment because somebody just left a comment before I came on here telling me I should stop begging and all different type of losers and whatever. I took a screenshot of you and you in my file of all the people who ever talked about me because I plan to come back around the block. But
You from my tribe. I
Yeah,
feel
not
you.
really from Harlem. She really from Harlem.
Mhm.
no, 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 for real, for real.
For real.
Like, I grew up on 111 between Fifth and Lennox. I've lived in Harlem my whole life. Stop playing with
Lennox
me. Y'all be
Ave.
talking very crazy on this internet, and I'm
Yo,
trying to
Yep.
be zen.
stop
But
playing on
yeah,
Beyonce internet, please.
please. When you
For
never
those
did nothing.
yeah,
Mm,
but a lot of people are going through pain and take it out on
yeah,
others.
yeah.
To have a successful business, what pushback were they giving you for not giving funding? For those who are looking to pitch, what
Yeah.
roadblocks were they putting in front of you to tell you no?
Uh, I will tell you that the amount of goal posting that I have faced during this. So it's like when I first started and I was in there was money at the bottom. When I had the sad story, the single mom that, you know, I have my 2 kids, and I don't have my life together, and I'm going to, try to find a job. They was throwing money at me. I got a micro loan when I had no job. So
Yeah.
it built in me that, like, okay, well, if I prove that I have whatever, I'm gonna get it. Then they gave me 10,000 and I paid it back. And then they gave me 20,000 and I paid it back. And then it was time to, like, put your money where your mouth is. And I'm like, yo, I want to build out this facility. I think that we can really, like, grow contracts. I found a way into this industry. Then it was like, ooh,
Too
we don't
risky.
know if you too risky. Like, ooh, you're gonna do what? What do you everything I just
Yep.
said I was gonna do, the things that I did them. And so the goalpost moves. It was get a contract and come back. Come with a contract. Yeah, but how do we know it sells? Like airports, like people don't even spend money in airports. Huh? Okay. Hotels. I mean, are people even staying at hotels anymore? Is there any,
Mhm.
like, what? Then I'm like, all
Spin
right, let
cycle.
me
Yep.
come back with the invoice. I'm gonna come back with the invoice. Yeah, but you didn't ship the product yet. So, this doesn't really fall under accounts receivable. You need growth capital. Okay, well, you look at the growth, give me the capital. Yes, but what we would really want is the contract. I can't get the contract until I give them the product and that they see that it sells. Yeah, so after it sells, then we'll do it. But we know it sells because it's been selling because I got 10 years of historical data that it sells. What? And that's when I realized, like, oh, everybody's lying to me. Y'all
Yep.
hate me. And let me just stop. And I just did the GoFundMe and I was like, here, boom, like, let me do this. And then I'm going to double back and charge everybody twice. And I have a list. I want you to know you're all in my little black book. Um,
Allegedly.
Yeah, we just trying not to make the
list
list.
is the
That's
list is
it.
vital.
Mhm.
So,
This is like
Not in
sounding
that
like
way,
this.
but just like, yo, because these same people, when the cameras come out, I know what y'all are going to do. Y'all want to pull up. Y'all want to, oh, let me take a picture.
I'm
I
so
know who
proud of
helped
you.
me.
Yep.
I'm so proud, and we knew you was gonna make it. I
Hmm.
want you to know, I know who all you are, and I am. It's me and 50. You will not get in. You will be standing outside. You will not get in. I am very nice. I'm very sweet. I don't have. I no no, but
We gonna pray for them. Now we're gonna pray for them.
so
We're gonna
Harlem,
pray for them.
Harlem,
absolutely.
We're
Harlem
gonna pray for
Chocolate
them.
Factory is definitely a staple in the community. Explain the GoFundMe.
Yeah,
Explain the GoFundMe. What's it for? What's the
yeah,
goal?
yeah.
Um, and yeah, explain that for the
So
audience.
it's yeah. So what we're trying to do is we have like some specific debts that we need to clear in order to just free up cash flow. Then on the other side, there are deposits that we need to make immediately in order to fulfill these contracts. And the if we wait, we're going to be outside the window and we're not going to be able to fully take advantage of them. And so the GoFundMe, we're trying to raise 50K. If we could get to 100, y'all would literally be saving my little life. But 50 is what we need to, like, like really make these specific investments to have that leverage the way that we need to for our cash flow and really not be waiting for 60 days for the invoices to clear and be able to go out after even more contracts.
And what's the website or what's the Instagram? How can people, if they're
Yeah.
interested, where do they go?
You can go to harlemchocolatefactory.com and we have the link there. And then on our Instagram, it's Harlem Chocolate Factory. The link is in our bio. Ultimately, I want to create an entity with with community shares. Like I'm still researching on how to do that and how to set up the structure because I want the community to have shares in it. This is the temporary need that we have. That will help us bridge. Oh, and yeah,
Well, thank you for coming on.
Yes,
Thank you.
we
thank you
Great,
for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
greatly
Of
appreciate your
course.
story, and I'm going to encourage everybody to try to give what they can because it's important.
Yeah,
We
Absolutely.
trying to save a black business,
Hmm.
yeah,
a vital part of our community. We understand that entrepreneurship is a real gateway, and you talk about businesses. you know, it employs people, it gives level of inspiration, hope, and is the whole economic system that's done. And when you think of Harlem, you think of the mecca of black culture going back from, you know, 1920s Harlem Renaissance and Sugar Hill and all of that. So, you know, it's the season of giving. Some people say Christmas is the season of giving, but it's Black History Month, so I feel like February is the season of giving. And we wanted to highlight you just to, you know, for educational purposes, but also, you know, we have a platform, so we try to do good with our platform when we can, as far as to help people that are have some level of need, because we all going to need help at some point in time.
Yep.
And it's a good story as far as what you've been able to accomplish, and would love to see, you know, the trajectory, you know, change on the situation. So yes, go to harlemchocolatefactory.com if you're interested, and we will definitely stay in contact. Wish you all the best, and thank you for
Thank you.
coming and telling your story. Greatly
We
appreciate it.
appreciate
Thank
you,
you
and
so
we
Thank
will
you
much.
so
support you.
much.
Thank you for
Thank you. I
sharing with.
appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.